Hello, Professor. This is Veronica Hernandez for EDAD 610, and this is my second reflective journal. And on this occasion, we are discussing student-centered classrooms, and you ask us to discuss our experience with student-centered classrooms in our own education, beginning with kinder through 8th grade. I would tell you that the student-centered classroom, as reflected in my education, it's very difficult to actually describe it. I was an immigrant, came here at 4 years old from Mexico, learned English pretty quickly, but went to a school where the majority of students were Anglo, and there was several students that were of Mexican origin, mostly field workers, who were attending school with other students who were English speakers, who came from upper middle class families here in Monterey County. What I could say about my experience is that I didn't feel that I was very much pushed or that there was a high expectation for me to be successful. Teachers, I always felt that they didn't like where I came from. Like they didn't care for me speaking Spanish or my culture or my heritage. I don't feel that it was student-centered. I feel that it might have been student-centered for some students, but not for myself or my sisters or my cousins who grew up in the same place. But it was a small school, so my graduating class was only 20 students. And so I got a little bit more attention than somebody who would have gone to a school where a graduating class was 200 or 300 students. I guess in that aspect I received a good education, but from what I see in a student-centered classroom, all learners, there's deep differentiation, there's multiple ways. It's about they learned it, not just I taught it. There's respect, which I don't think that I received. There's celebrations for success. I guess sometimes there would be if we abided by what was expected of us. There's diversity of thought, and in those days there wasn't. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was one way of learning it, and this is the way you think, and it's the only way to think. There wasn't very high expectations, and it wasn't very student friendly to be at the school. I think it was the same in high school. It was just a continuation of the same field of thought that was in my elementary school. A better experience in the university for me. I felt that in the university I was more accepted. I went to a more diverse university, which was San Jose State. And there I started to notice there was more diversity, but I would still hear some of the same kinds of thoughts as, well, one of them was, don't all Mexican families, don't you all have kids already? Even though I did have one daughter, but I don't think that said who I was. So it was a little bit more student-centered because we actually got to share our expertise. We were able to lead. The teacher was willing to learn with us and took a lot of classes in the liberal studies department. But see, I think that plays a big role into it, that I was actually in liberal studies. So that might have helped. What aspect do you think would have been helpful? I think that the aspects that I think would have been helpful is if they would have believed that I was smart, that I was going to make it, that I wasn't going to be one of those students that was going to drop out of high school, get pregnant, and end up on welfare. That would have been great. The expectation of it, knowing that all students can learn, and if they're not learning, it could be because there's something happening in their lives. So that could have helped at that time. Which aspects of student learning environment are present in your current work setting? Well, currently, my work setting, it's about 90 to probably 95% Hispanic students. There is still diversity within those students because you have recent arrivals. You have students that have been here for many years. You have second or third generation Hispanics, and we also have a big indigenous Oaxacan group. So, I mean, all in all, it's still diverse within the same culture, but there is some diversity. So I would say that some of the things that I would say would be helpful is everyone expects the students to learn. That's one thing that I think about. 55-70% of the teachers feel that way. We still have teachers who feel that because the students come in with deficits that they're never going to learn, they're never going to get ahead, and they're always going to be low. And no matter what the teacher does, there's nothing that can be done for that student. I would like for that kind of thinking to go away and for them to know that I was that student, the student that they think is not going to make it. And so I try to tell as many teachers as I can, just because right now that student is not succeeding doesn't mean that the student is not going to be successful in the future. I think teachers should be more proactive. Um, but I feel that they are starting to be more proactive. And we have a lot of Hispanic teachers and even some of our Anglo teachers. They're proactive for the students. They believe in the students. They have a dream. They feel that they can differentiate for the students. They push students. And a lot of us come from the same background where we feel that, we're here for the students. I know the superintendent was actually raised here in Greenfield, and she really believes that all means all. And that's what we're trying to push right now. I work at the district office, so for me, that's the message that I'm hearing every day. So, in my opinion, I think that a lot of our teachers are starting to be more proactive. They're starting to have higher expectations for students. When we're trying to say, you know what, we believe in all the students, not just some of the students, which is what I wished would have been for me when I was growing up, that they would have said all students are going to make it, not just some, and put that belief in me from when I was little. So, right now, Professor, I guess that's what I have for now, and I just want you to know that yes, I do come from an immigrant family, and maybe some of my experiences are very different with regards to being student-centered, because I really feel that we need to look at our population, and we really need to support what we have, and not wish for what we want, but actually help who we have in our classrooms and really believe in them. So it was great talking to you, Professor. Hope to be able to talk a little bit more the next time. Have a great week.